I will explain the tips of Continental style purl that does not burden your hands as much as possible. No strain means that you don't turn your wrists beyond your natural range of motion, and you don't bend or stretch your muscles too much. Ultimately, the goal is to be able to knit smoothly like this, but it is difficult to suddenly see this and imitate it, so I will explain it by dividing it into 8 operations. First of all, when knitting, relax your hands and hold it comfortably. Then step 1. Use your right index finger to hook the needle tip onto the thread in front of the loop. It is not an image of inserting a needle, but it is okay if you hook it slightly at this stage. Step 2. Turn your left hand outward. You can turn it until your wrist is vertical. Since the thread is pulled by turning the hand, the needle will not come off even if the thumb, index finger, and middle finger of the right hand are released. Step 3. Place the tip of thumb on the thread of the loop. If you use the pad of your finger to hold it down, the muscles will stretch, so bend the joint softly and put fingertip on the thread. Step 4. Turn your right hand. At this time, hold your hand so that the first joint of your middle finger touches the needle. If you turn your hand a little further and make the angle so that you can see the palm slightly, the needle will tilt to the other side and it will be easier to thread in the next step. Step 5. Turn your left hand inward. At this time, apply the thread to the needle tip. Step 6. Turn your right hand to pull the needle tip out to the other side of the loop. This is the most difficult part. The bent middle finger becomes slightly stretched as it rotates. It is an image of moving the needle with the thumb and middle finger as fulcrums. Step 7. When the needle tip comes out to the other side, turn your left hand to the vertical position. Step 8. Slide the right needle to bring the stitches together. At this time, place your index finger on the tip of the needle to support the needle. This will straighten your wrist angle. Finally, pull out the stitch from the left needle and you're done. Let's continue the series of steps. The key to knitting neatly is to bring the stitches closer together in step 8. If it is not gathered here, the sinker loop will become long and it will cause a gap to open. However, at first, you don't have to think about knitting neatly or quickly. The important thing is not to get injured. Do each movement slowly and knit while making sure that the muscles and joints are not overloaded. If you feel tired, take a break and rest your hands immediately. Once you get used to it to a certain extent, you can combine the 8 steps into 4 steps by moving your right and left hands almost at the same time. It can be said that you have mastered it if you gradually connect the movements seamlessly and finally you can knit without being aware of the steps. These are the tips for Continental style purl that puts as little strain on your hands as possible. Actually, there are quite individual differences in the method of purl knitting, and there is also a style that keeps holding your finger without taking your finger off the needle. For example, you can put your index finger on the tip of the needle to balance it, or put your thumb on the tip to control the movement. There is no problem with such a method as long as it suits you. In my case, if I keep holding it in the same shape, I feel that some muscles get tired, so I settle for a loose holding style. I hope this helps you. Thank you for your viewing.